Hi, Todd VanDenburg here with VanDenburg Capital Management and another Uncommon Sense update. So I was trying to decide what to talk about today, and I could talk about how the Dow, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq are at or near all-time highs. I could talk about how the unemployment rate remains near all-time lows. I could talk about how many new jobs that we've added, that beat expectations of the analysts. I could talk about how 75% of the S&P 500 that have reported third quarter earnings actually beat analyst expectations. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today sort of comes up because of what we've just experienced here in Northern California, which is we had some pretty severe fires and we've had power outages and evacuations, and it's very reminiscent of what happened here 2 years ago. But it's never a bad idea to sort of revisit the lessons learned. And those things are you ready? Are you really ready? If the police show up at your door at 2:30 in the morning and say, get out, a fire is coming, what are you going to do? You have 2 minutes. What are you going to do? And that's something that we learned 2 years ago, is that you need to make sure that you have a go bag. You have a bag or multiple bags in your coat closet next to the front door. And in those bags, you want to have things like your passports, copies of your birth certificates, a copy of your trust, really anything that you would need should everything that you own get destroyed in a fire. And this is happening far too frequently, but it is happening. You also want to think about, okay, well, if I'm told to evacuate at 2:30 in the morning, where am I going to go? Don't wait until that morning to decide, well, I think I'll go here or I think I'll go there. Have a plan. For us, our plan is, we go to our friend's house just south of us. But if they got evacuated too, if it was a big enough fire or a big enough tragedy, we have a plan for where we would go next. You should too. The other thing that you want to think about is, okay, so maybe you're not going to get evacuated. Maybe they're just shutting the power off, as again, our local utility company is doing these days. So what are you going to do? How are you going to stay at your house if you're going to stay at your house? Do you have a generator? Do you have a solar generator? Do you have a battery system attached to your solar panels? But how are you going to do it? Or are you just going to let the food in your refrigerator, rot? Do you have a cooler that you can throw some ice into so you can at least try to keep some of your food good until the power comes on? There is no right or wrong answer to how to prepare for these things, but you need to prepare for these things. So for example, a couple of weeks ago, the utility company shut our power off. We didn't have a generator, so we sort of had to just hope for the best. We immediately ordered a generator, and then the power company shut the power off again, so we had a generator. But then we had to run extension cords to everything in the house that we wanted to actually be run by the generator. So then we had an electrician come in and put a special box under our main breaker panel so that now we can plug our generator directly into our house and not have to worry about extension cords anymore. These are the kind of things that you want to do in advance. You don't want to be frantically trying to decide, how am I going to deal with this in the moment? Because you never know. Like the last power outage was 4 or 5 days. In some places they turned the gas on and it took them an extra couple of days to get that all turned on. So if you don't have a plan, for what you're going to do in advance, it just makes the whole situation that much more traumatic. Now you also want to think about, in addition to your go bags, do you have like backups of your technology? Do you have backups of stuff on your home computer? A backup of all the pictures that you've taken that, if they disappear, that you never get them back. Are you using an online backup service? How would you get back to, like your taxes? Do you do your taxes on your own computer? So how do you get all those things? There's a lot of stuff on your computer that if it disappeared, maybe you could recreate it, but how long would it take you to do that? So for example, here in our office, if this office got burned to the ground, I literally can run every aspect of this business off of a laptop that we back up every day and I take home with me. It's in my possession at all times so that I can run my business from anywhere at any time, no matter what happens. And that's actually what I did a couple of years ago, was running my business in my car because we were evacuated and the fires were just, a quarter of a mile away up the street. So these are things, again, that you want to think about in advance. You don't want to wait till the last minute. One other thing that I want to talk about is insurance. So we've also learned that the cost to replace our stuff, be it our belongings or our home, it ends up costing more than we think. So everybody should make a trip to whoever they got their insurance policy from, and they want to have it reviewed. You want to make sure that you know exactly what it's going to cover. If you get evacuated, does your insurance policy cover lost food in your refrigerator because the power went out? Does it cover any sort of relocation expense? And if it does, how much? How much will they really give you to replace your home if your home burns down? Here in Sonoma County, a lot of people have found that they thought they had good insurance, but because the cost to rebuild homes here has skyrocketed, they actually don't have nearly enough in order to pay for the complete rebuild of their home. So these are all things you want to do in advance. Just make yourself a little list, and if you'd like to get a list from us, we can certainly provide you one. But make a list of things like this and just start checking them off. You don't have to do it all in one day, but just make a point of, okay, by the end of the year, I'm gonna be better prepared for whatever life might throw at me. And these sorts of things, here in Northern California, their fires and their power outages seem to be more of a way of life now. So we're more prepared, and we hope you are too. If you have any questions about this or any financial topic, any investment related thing, economic, the markets, feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to answer any question you might have. But that was your update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, give us a share, and I'll be back next week with another Uncommon Sense update. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to be the first to hear of more Uncommon Sense updates like these, please click the subscribe button below. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again.